What's up, everybody? Welcome to art class. Today, we're going to start a really exciting lesson. I am super pumped about this one because this is going to be like a big project that we're all working on for a while. And we're going to do different parts of it. And something you can just really put your imagination into and really get into. So what we're going to be doing for this project, you're going to be designing a city in the future. You're going to design a whole city. It's going to be really awesome, and it's a really in-depth project where you get to think about all the different parts of the city and make the kind of city that you think we should have in the future. All right? There's going to be 3 days of this. The first day, you will be creating a map. All right? So that's today. We're going to start mapping out how our city is going to look. And then your second day, you're going to draw the city's skyline. So that's like, if you look in this picture, a little view of the city where you can see the buildings and things. And then on the third day, we're going to be talking about the culture of the city. We're going to be like, what do the people wear in the city? What do they eat? Those kinds of things are all things that make up the culture. So today we are creating a map, and I'm going to show you the different elements that go into mapping out and planning a city. I hope you're excited. I know I am. Let me move my picture here. Okay, so you're going to create a future city map, and I have a typo here. Nobody's perfect, right? Or is it nobody's perfect? I don't know. There you go. You're going to create a future city map using paths. Okay, these are all parts that go into a city. You're going to have paths. Paths would mean sidewalks, roads, or whatever, however people get around in the future. Maybe they go into a tube and it sucks them away to a different building. Maybe they have paths in the sky that are made of little lights that they fly down. It's up to you. This is a totally imaginary city. It doesn't even have to be that realistic. You can be a little bit fantastical with it if you want to. But you still want to kind of think about how it's going to work at the same time. So we've got paths, okay? You're going to have roads, sidewalks, or however people get around. Second part is districts. Okay, let's talk about what that means, districts. If you look at this picture right here, you can see this is a city, and there's little blocks and roads, but it's divided up into these different parts. Okay, those are districts of a city. And the districts are just like where different things happen. Okay, so like for instance, if you think about Rochester, Rochester has certain districts where there's lots of houses, and that's a residential district where people live, right? And then Rochester has a certain area where there's a lot of stores, or there's the downtown district where there's really tall buildings where lots of people go to work, right? There's maybe a district where there's more parks. So this is like you're dividing up your city into different parts where people do different things. Okay, that's what the districts are. You're going to have landmarks. If you look over here, you see landmarks. This one is straight out of Rochester. We have that giant silly corn cob that sticks up and everyone can see it and everybody knows it. That's a landmark. So your city should have some things like that that make it really special, that make it stand out. Other landmarks would be like the Statue of Liberty, or in St. Louis, there's this arch, right? This giant arch. It's really cool. There's actually a little elevator that goes up all the way to the top that you can go in there. So you can make up your own landmarks for the city. It could be something man-made like these, or something natural. Some cities have like a really cool rock formation or an amazing mountain or something that is just the landmark, the thing that people know the city for. And then finally, utilities. What does that mean? Well, utilities are like the things that keep your city running. So things like power. How do we get power? Right? There's different kinds of power plants. Like this one is, a power plant that's making lots of smoke. But maybe if they want to be more environmentally friendly, a city might have windmills that use the wind for energy, or they might have solar panels for energy. Or since it's your future city, maybe you make up your own new type of energy, a clean energy for the future, something like that. Maybe they harvest crystals from a weird planet. I have no idea. It's completely up to you for how your city is powered. That's part of the utilities. Utilities could also include like water. You ever think about how water gets to your house? The way our cities work, we have pipes underground that bring the water into our house. How does your house get heat, right? Things like that. Those are all the utilities, and you should think at least a little bit about, you know, how do those things kind of play into my city, all right? So, just to review, your city is going to have paths, it's going to have districts, landmarks, and utilities. Okay, so I'm going to make one with you. If you're feeling a little intimidated, that's okay. We'll figure it out. It's not going to be as complicated as it sounds, and it's all going to come together. So let me aim my camera down here and make my picture bigger so we can draw together. In the meantime, you can enjoy the sounds of smooth jazz. Welcome to the Future City Radio. Playing smooth jazz all day long. Because we like to keep it cool here at the Future City. You like my radio announcer voice? Maybe that's what I should do. No, I'm just kidding. I would never stop teaching. I love teaching you all. Radio would be boring compared to teaching. I'm here in the Future City doing radio. I sure wish I was an art teacher so I could have a bunch of wonderful kids to teach. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing around. Okay, so I'm going to be designing my future city. Oh, I got to turn the music down again. Okay, so we're going to have paths. Maybe I should leave this open a little bit so we can see. Paths. Districts, landmarks, utilities. In fact, let me, just kind of on the fly here, let me make a different slide. Hang on a second. We're going to have, see if you can remember the different parts of it while I'm doing this. Paths, what else? Districts, what else? Utilities, what else? Landmarks. Okay. So now what we can do, I can draw over here, but you can see those four things. That's a little more helpful. Okay. Whew. How do you get started, right? Well, I like to start with the paths. That's a good way to do it. And this is a map, remember, so it's like looking top down. So I like to think of my city's just going to have roads. I like to think of the main roads that go through the city and how that's going to work, okay? So like, maybe my city, I'll start with a circle. You could have a line going through. There's lots of different ways. Rochester kind of has like two big main roads that go off this way, and then there's stuff in the middle. There's lots of different ways, but start with the main paths of your city. This is going to be my like main highway. I'm gonna go for like a circle-based city, but maybe yours is based on a triangle, or maybe a big wiggly road that goes through, however you want to do it. This is the main road here, and I'm also gonna have a main road that comes out this way, a main road that comes this way, a main road that comes this way. So these are like the highways, right? If you've ever been on a highway that has like 2 or 3 lanes and there's lots of cars going down, those are the main areas that you want, okay? So I've got some main roads. Now maybe I'll do some smaller roads that go through, right? So I'll just design kind of some smaller roads coming through the middle here. Maybe these go in a circle too. And I'm just making them a little smaller. There's like hopefully less traffic on these roads. Okay? And you can think about your districts too. Like, what are these different areas going to be for? I'm going to say this is shopping district. So here I'm going to write shopping. Or I could just write an S also to mean shopping, because I'm just planning, right? So this is like the shopping districts. This is where you're going to have clothing stores. You're going to have Walmart. You're going to have some restaurants. This is where people go. Some people might call it a commercial district, right? But this is where people are going to go shopping, okay? In the middle here, I'm going to have businesses. And maybe, you know, I might even have some more circles coming in here. Some roads to go down here. And I'll have some more of these coming out, like a little pinwheel. Hey, maybe. Okay, I have a name for my city. I'm gonna call it Pinwheel. At least for now. Maybe I'll add something else to it to make it sound a little flashier, but it'll be Pinwheel something. So we think of a name too. So that, and then, yeah, maybe my shopping district might want another road coming this way, maybe one coming this way. You're just going to want to think about, how are people getting around in your city? Yours doesn't have to be necessarily as detailed as mine is. It can look different. You know how it goes with my class. Cool, looking good. And I'm actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use different colors to mean the different districts. So like my shopping districts will be blue. That's a good way to do it if you have some colors, a good way to mark out your districts. And you'll notice I'm not drawing individual buildings here. We're not quite there yet. We're just planning it out and mapping it out. So these blue parts are shopping districts. You can see that here. Okay? And then, I think for the business districts, I'll use some red, like a pinkish red. Wild watermelon, I guess, is the color that my business district is. It's a wild watermelon. Oh, and you know what? In the middle here would be a good place for a landmark, wouldn't it? So I'll just put an L. That's going to be where I'm going to put my landmark. And I'll make that one purple. I don't know what my landmark is yet. I'll decide that later when we do our city skyline. You can decide yours now if you want. But that's going to be where my landmark is. It makes sense, right? It'd be in the middle. And then, out here, maybe this is where people live, right? Because it's some open areas. So I'll make it like, I'll just draw a line out here, 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 here. And then I will use green for, residential. So I'll put a R. Residential, I'll write this word for you. Residential means people live there. You could also just put, you could write houses or however you want to do it, it's fine. It's your city, you're planning it. I don't have to spend lots of time coloring this. This one's not as much about having like a polished, finished looking thing as much as like you're making a plan, a sketch, kind of a blueprint. Trying to make it easy to understand. Just a good solid plan. So this is a residential area. Maybe I'll make this another highway. Another big main road that goes around, okay? Because if you think about it, right, the people live here, but how are they going to make money to afford their houses? They have to have somewhere to work. So they can work here in the business area, they can work at these shopping places, right, stuff like that. You can put things like schools, whatever you think your city needs, you go for it, okay? So I got my residential areas. I could probably just map out the blocks the same way, like this pinwheel design. And have this, and these are like the little blocks. Works for me. Lots of houses here. So I'm gonna say, maybe these residential areas, maybe they also have like parks and schools and different things that you need. It's not all just houses here. It's gonna be like, different things like that. So even if I want to think about that a little further, here's what I'll do. I'll put in the middle of each residential area is a purple square. And I'm gonna say that purple square represents parks and schools. So each one has its own little schools, has its own parks and things like that. Okay? So I've been working on my paths. I've been working on my districts, right? I gotta think about utilities. I did put a landmark, right? I wanna think about my utilities. How is this city gonna be run? Well, I want this to be the first ever wind-powered city, 100% wind power. So I'm going to use, I'm trying to find a color I haven't used, just this red, okay? And this is going to mark all these circles are where I'm going to put all the windmills. They go all around here and they spin just like a pinwheel. That's pretty cool. And most of the windmills are going to be outside here because they actually kind of need to be out in the open. So I'm going to use all this open area out here for all my windmills. I'll just put wind. You know, maybe you have crystal energy from a far off planet, right? Whatever you want to do. So I have kind of a nice plan for my city here, don't I? Do I have paths? Yes. Do I have districts? Yes. Do I have utilities? Yes. Do I have landmarks? Yes, I have one. Okay. So at this point, you know, I've got some time left to really think about this. And this is when you can really have fun and get detailed with it. This is the basic blueprint. You can add more details, like, what else does a city need, huh? What about a fire station, right? I'm gonna need to put a fire station, so maybe I'll put a big red square here with an F that means fire station, right? We might need 2 fire stations, because what if there's a fire all the way over here? They gotta go all the way this way. Maybe I'll put a fire station here. Right? What about police? Do we need police in my city? Yeah, I think so. So maybe I'll do the same thing. Here's a police. Oh, I can't really see that. I can't quite get the right blue to be able to see. Okay, here we go. Here's my police station. Here's my police station, right? So we got good coverage from those. And now maybe I'll think about where do I want to put my schools? I know I had these areas, so like here's a school. Maybe this area can be a school. And then here's a school. And this area can be for a school as well. So like, you know, maybe this whole area can go to this school, this whole area can go to this school, right? And I wanted some parks, right? Isn't that why I made these areas? So why not put the parks right next to the school? Doesn't that make sense? You could have trees, places for the students to explore and learn outside. There's some parks right there. And then now I have these areas that I can think of. What do I want to do with this part in the middle of the neighborhood, right? Maybe I want to put a sports arena, right? That would be fun. So maybe this part that I zoned off here, this little district that I zoned off, can be for sports. Maybe it'll be a big sports complex that has all kinds of futuristic sports that they can play. What am I going to do with this area here? I don't know. I'm going to think about it. I think my city is looking pretty good. It's pretty well planned out. So I think it could use, you know, something here. It could use some more landmarks. I'm trying to think of what I would need in the middle of a neighborhood, because we've got some parks, we've got sports. You know, I'm trying to think of what I would add for a neighborhood. Why don't I zone off some more areas for landmarks? Where could I put some more landmarks? Maybe, you know, by the entrance of the city would be pretty good. Maybe, you know, since it's Pinwheel City, this could be a landmark. And maybe I'll draw, you know, if you want to draw these things, that's fine too. This is going to have a big pinwheel, like a big colorful pinwheel. And I'll put one here too. So that it's kind of like next to the my windmills, but it's like a big colorful decorative pinwheel, and it'll look really cool next to the windmills. And yeah, I'll put one on each. You know, wherever you come in on these big highways into the city, you're going to see one of those big pinwheels. That's pretty neat. I like it. Where am I going to live? Now we get to decide where I'm going to live in my future city. Where would I like to live? Well, I'm going to be a teacher. I'm not going to be a radio announcer. We decided that. I think I would like to live right here. That's my house. Because I get a nice view. I get a nice view of this park here. And then I live right next, here's my school that I work at. I live right next to the school. That's pretty neat. I think I decided what I would like to do with this. Be a nature center. You know, like in Rochester, we have Quarry Hill Nature Center, right? And maybe I'll make this one a little bigger. I love Quarry Hill Nature Center. We go there for our school field trips. It's just in the middle of a city, it's nice to have somewhere that you can go that it's just kind of nature in many directions. So I'm gonna make this a little bigger, so it's like a big nature area that people can explore. That's pretty nice. And they could have a building there that has, different animals that you can see that they maybe rescued or are protecting. Things like that. If you're just looking for more things to do for your city, you can get more and more detailed with it, right? You can think about what kind of shopping do we have here, right? What are the stores that are going to be here? You can draw some buildings if you want to. You can draw some little houses on here if you want to make your map a little more artsy. Like, maybe I'll just kind of draw some houses instead of just, coloring the residential area blue. I can draw these little symbols for houses to show this is where my houses are. I'm just drawing these basic little houses just because, I'm going to draw a million of them just to show the map. And then I forgot about something really important here. It's part of making a map. Does anyone know what I forgot? It's very important when you make a map. It's the key. A map needs a key. What am I doing not having a key? So what a key is, someone looks at this map, they're like, what am I looking at here? There's going to be a little key in the corner that shows what each thing is. Okay? So for instance, let's start with my purple. I'm going to draw the purple, and that's landmarks. Okay? And then I have the blue for business. Right? Oh no, the blue was shopping. This is why we need a key. And then the pink was business, right? So I put a little pink, business. And then we had green for residential. Residential means houses, right? And we had a few others, like I ended up using brown for schools. And if you don't have colors, you can come up with other ways to do it. You could draw little symbols or whatever you have. Red was fire, for fire departments. And the dark blue was police. Okay. That's pretty good. Oh, and yeah, that's pretty good. I'll draw. I had the circle. The pink circle was for windmills. Right? So that's my key. Then you could draw a neat little square around it so people can see it really easily. Maybe I'll even put a little drop shadow. Here's how I do that. I just put a little square kind of on one side of it, color that in. Just to fancy it up a little bit, make it look nice and professional. That's nice. Okay. So, I made mine, as you can see, pretty complex. So you can get really complex with it if you want. If you want yours to be a little more simple, that's okay. You do it your way, okay? Yeah, I don't want you to feel pressure like you have to do this giant thing just like I did. You don't all have big paper. You don't all have all these colors. We all have different things, and that's just fine. I just want you to do what you can with what you got. And Yeah. I can think about a few other things here. You know, like, here's a big question, okay? What does your city do with its garbage? Right? We don't think about that a lot, do we? Where's your garbage gonna go? I mean, shipping it out just to another place isn't always an option, right? Because where's that gonna go? It's gotta go somewhere. We kind of just have these giant landfills where we just pile up our garbage. So maybe you can try to come up with a different solution for what to do with your garbage. Or maybe your city has certain rules about garbage and that we don't want to make too much of it so that we don't have a big, a big garbage pile in our city. That's a big question. I don't necessarily have an answer for that one, but it's something to think about. You can think about your water, right? A city might have like a water plant where like they clean the water and it sends the water out. Maybe I'll put that up here in the corner. We'll take a little bit of windmill space for the water plant. And I'll have this be like a square with, little water waves around it. I'll add that to my key. I may have added the square around my key a little too early. So that's the water plant. And then, I can draw like some water pipes if I want to. I will just use a really light blue for that. How's this? Yeah, I'll just use a light blue to show the water pipes. But my water pipes are gonna go underneath the city. So it comes down here, and it's gonna actually follow the main roads. The water pipes are gonna follow the roads. And then it will kind of, go out and branch out to the different, the different neighborhoods and different businesses that need water. It's gonna kind of branch out from there, okay? And that's gonna have like something that pumps the water out and brings the water back in. And then also like a treatment area where, it cleans up all the dirty water. We have one of those in Rochester. It's pretty cool looking. I always joke that it looks like a moon base or something. It looks so strange. Okay, cool. So this is my map for my future city. I've got paths, I've got districts, I've got utilities and landmarks. Anything else you add is extra, but you go for it. I want to take a look back at what we're going to do next time. So, next time, here, I'll put my camera back up. Hang on. Oh, I'm on the ceiling. Boom, there we go. Okay. Let's fix my lighting a little bit. There we go. So, next time, you're going to draw the skyline of your city. This is where it gets really fun and we get to get a glimpse of what your city really looks like. So your map is kind of like this top-down view that's like just planning. The skyline is almost like you're in the city looking up, just like this picture that we see over here. Alright, so you're going to see the buildings, you're going to see some of the roads, maybe put the landmark in there, right? So that's going to be really fun to see the city start to come to life because you've done the work, the planning, the world building of your city, and we're going to actually get to see it next time. So that's going to be really neat. And then after that, the third week we work on this, you get to really dive in and work on the culture. You're going to draw what the people look like. You're going to draw, what the people eat. What kind of restaurants do they have? What do they do in their spare time? What do these people live like, right? That's your culture. So with this project, there's a lot of reasons I like this. It's just fun to create a whole world. I love doing this. Like if you're writing a story, a lot of people who write fantasy stories make these kind of maps just to build this world. It's fun to do world building. It's also really good because it helps you think about what goes into a city and thinking about the world around you. Also, because it's in the future, you get to think about what do you want the world to be like, right? What do you think cities should be like in the future? And that's important because, guess what? I know you've heard this before, but it's true. You are the future. You are the people that are going to be designing cities, maybe. I mean, not everybody's designing cities, but you are going to be the people that are creating the world of the future. So it's good to think about this kind of stuff. It's not like to put pressure on you or anything like that, but it's exciting. And I like to get you guys thinking about this kind of stuff because I have high hopes for you and I believe in you. I know you're so wonderful. And you're going to make a beautiful future. And it starts here. Okay, well, this has been really fun. I had so much fun doing this with you. Just a couple announcements quick before we go. You don't have to turn this in. I know I collected last week's, but that's just once every trimester I collect an artwork. So, you know, it's not a lot. It's like 3 per year. So I'll let you know when we have to collect the next one. These normal art lessons, you don't have to turn them in. You definitely can send me the pictures if you want to, because I love seeing your art. So send them my way if you feel like it. But this one's not graded, so don't worry about it. Also, big announcement. We are going to start doing live art hangouts. It's going to be so cool. So the way that's going to work, it's a little complicated, so bear with me. Okay, this is a new thing. Trying it out, all right? I've made a Google Classroom, okay? So you can join that Google Classroom. I'm going to have the code to join in the description of this video. I'm also going to send it out to the families. So you join that Google Classroom, okay? And in there, I'm going to post the links and the times and dates for the art hangouts. So once you're in that Google Classroom, you'll see, hey, we're having an art hangout on this day at this time. Here's the link. So you just click on that link when we have it, and you join up. The way it's going to work is it's going to be a bunch of people hanging out from your similar grades. We can be making art together. We can be sharing our art with each other. I'll have some cool art videos to share with you. It's just a casual hangout where we can make art and share and just kind of be together because we all miss each other, right? And also just know this is not something that you have to do, all right? You don't have to do it. It's just a fun extra thing if you want to do it. So this is going to be like at the 3 o'clock to 3:30 time. So that kind of extra time at the end of the day. So go ahead, if you're interested, join up in that Google Classroom. The code is in the description below. And you will get all the other information you need from the Google Classroom, okay? I love you all. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have fun with this lesson. Keep thinking about your city. Keep doing your world building. It's a fun thing to do. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.